go into game number 4. It is Stark against Vivi, with obviously switched civilizations. It's this time Mongols for Stark and Britons for Vivi.
And I suggest we start taking a look at the map once again, and with Stark and Mongols this time, obviously it's, as you mentioned in the earlier game, it's nice to look for any nearby deer, but it seems like he's running out of luck on this one. So no additional deer really for Stark nearby.
In the
north
north he
have
has
a hard time pushing anything in.
In the north he has
the rest of his map, what is your opinion on it?
In the north he has 7 deers, so that would be an option. The gold spot isn't too great, I have to say. I think the map could be wallable if he wants to wall over this areas here, but then he is pretty exposed to potential expose ratings, because the expose of the Brits could control so much area. Let's take a look at Vivi's map.
Yeah, he has quite a nice woodlines in the back. It's a bit awkward with the hills maybe later on, but maybe it will give him an easy time defending. He's quite open on the right side, however. Luckily his main guild, even though it's on forward, it's a bit more on the close left side really, but he could still have a hard time defending it later on. And yeah, considering the rest, he has some nice deer in the back. He might have an easy time pushing in, but for Britons the food isn't. Yeah, obviously it's always nice to have some additional food, but for the Britons it isn't as important as for a Mongol player.
Indeed. Maybe building a mill here could get him the deer better, but sheep is more important at this stage. And I have to mention again, Stark is pretty early with his first and second boar, always before the lumber camps. That's so interesting, and I haven't.
He's the one playing Mongols this time, but not going for the lane himself. So
yeah, still missing 2 sheep, which he wants to get, and most likely will too if he's going for the left hand side, and even finding a very nice golden wood spot over here.
So what do you think the players will be doing? I mean, last game we saw kind of a quirky strategy. We saw Vivi going forward with the towers early on, and Stark really going for the archer aggression into expose later on, as it's kind of to be expected of the Britons, but obviously we might have to keep our eyes open for a Thresh or anything like it. But with how open Vivi's map is, it feels rather risky to do such a thing.
Stark needs to play aggressively, because he is trying to get those deers here in the north, and those 4 villages will be exposed for quite some time. So he needs to have all the army at Vivi's base, so that Vivi cannot attack and maybe snipe those villagers, because then he would have a huge deficit quite early in the game. So he either needs to go for an M&A offense and then add skirmishers, which isn't the greatest against Brits obviously, or maybe go for early scouts here.
I think scouts might be one of the better options he has available right now. I mean, with the addition of food coming in, and as you mentioned, man-at-arms not being as strong versus the British, in my opinion, as well. So, yeah, I think we're just going to see Stark getting out those knights, which is pretty, scouts, which is pretty strong for the Mongols anyway. And maybe from there on transition into knights, as we saw Vivi going knights as Mongols as well in the previous game. And it worked reasonably for him if it wasn't for Stark's map, which he really defended very well. Maybe Stark is able to do a better job going offensive with the knights, dealing the damage where it's necessary. The barracks going up for Vivi, it seems.
Maybe he wants to go for a later Drush? Seems a bit like it. Oh, and Stark even upping before Feudal Age, so it's basically pop 20 without Loom. Interesting. Maybe the militia could do some damage then.
Loom or?
Yeah, Loom. What did I say?
Upping before Feudal Age, quite an interesting choice.
Okay, no. Clicking Feudal Age before Loom. Yeah, obviously, I mean, the upgrade which increases the HP on the villagers, so he could fight potential militias coming out, and they will come out a bit better. And yeah, he will lose his precious deer spot over here. If, yeah, he's not getting
If he
loom.
did scout the deer spot, so the Drush might be able to do quite a bit of damage, especially, this is actually quite greedy in my opinion, because we see him going forward quite a bit, and still he's not clicking loom before actually going up to the feudal age.
Yeah, but that's totally fine because he is going with 19 villagers and he will never get attacked before he's reaching feudal age and is able to loom unless he's getting an instant rush into his face, which he actually is.
So, in my opinion, still a bit of a greedy decision going on right here, but maybe if you can get enough scouts out in time, but let me check, he doesn't have the wood full stable, he dropped it already, it's there, I see.
Stark now instantly going for the loom. So
Maybe
those villagers
by Vivi.
will
When
live
your
for
opponent
now.
is milling forward against Mongols in such a tournament, why not, you know?
Let's see. He's killing the deer now. Only one deer still left alive. So actually Stark should know what's going on here. Maybe he's trying to take a fight. He has one pikeman coming out now. 4 villagers and a scout. Very hurt scout. Again, 3 militia and a scout. So the fight should go into the favor of Stark. So that Vivi is now trying to run around, try to deny the villagers from getting the deer. Oh, there's such a long distance now.
Yeah, but for now it's obviously going to be idle time, which will be a huge part of the deal. Especially as Stark doesn't have a lot of other food income, as his sheep just ran out and he has nothing on the berries so far. So denying this food income might help him quite a bit. Even though Stark has quite a bit of food banked up right now, he's able to produce like 2 villages and a scout right now, and then he might start to struggle a little bit.
Oh, that's interesting.
Most certain dealing some damage.
Let's take a quick look at Stark. He is trying to tower the forward gold, but he should know that Vivi has even a better gold spot in the back, so this is kind of a wasted tower here.
Yeah, he did scout the other gold, so I'm a bit surprised. He is going with this, it feels a bit greedy, as, yeah, obviously he didn't scout Vivi taking this gold, and he maybe expects him to go for this gold, but I think by the time Vivi is going to need that forward gold, he will have something to do with the tower anyway.
Yeah, I think so as well. Let's take a look. The other gold would have been out here, but yeah, but most of the time a Britain player isn't going for mangonels if he's playing against Mongols, so he will at least need to invest something. But now Stark has a problem of not being able to build another defensive tower, and he might need one because fighting against a lot of archers and maybe expos, having a defensive tower is just so beautiful to defend exactly that.
Indeed, so it feels like Vivi's now going full on the flush, and with the map of Stark, he might struggle a little bit with the gold being on the right side. If he gets behind the wood line, Stark now getting the archer rings as well, and I guess he will be going into skirmishes as he's not on gold yet, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, he's not.
Oh, and the scouts are trapped! The scouts are trapped! Oh god.
Spears are there as well, so rest in peace.
Sick. LOL. Stark says LOL. And exactly that. Oh man, now it's even trying to wall more gold spots, so denying for the long run, going for 2 archeries, and most likely we will see some skirmisher defense, so he should send some villagers on the gold, but doesn't need to be that early here.
And now I'm quite curious whether Vivi will be able to actually deal enough damage with the flush over here, as
I think
Stark
no.
has a reasonable defense setup, just needs the last wall on the left side. I think he will be in time. Actually gets the puddle as well right now, so everything really will be redirected to Stark's town center right now, but obviously he could break through the palisade in the back, but I wonder whether the skirmishers will be able to fend it off. He needs to be a bit careful over here with the town center being there.
Yeah, Vivi taking one hit and thinking better of it and going home. And I would be surprised if Vivi is now going for a lot of army. I think we will see him trying to find some small holes, but most likely now going for wheelbarrow, not even doing fletching, and he's already thinking, okay, I need to go castle age before I can hit this guy at all.
Yeah, but he's still pretty far away from castle age, but he's on that amount of farms right now, so yeah, I guess he will indeed be focusing on getting castle age as soon as possible. If we go to Stark's resources, he isn't sitting too high on resources either, not producing too much. Obviously, he has quite a bit of resources in those skirmishes, but that will probably keep him safe for most of the early game.
Yeah, I think sitting behind stone walls should be totally fine, and Vivi maybe was exposed, should be fine as well later on. Let's see, still only now going on gold at that he didn't need to go on gold too early, but I think that's a bit too late. But he's still going for heavy skirms, so Stark's castle age time will be much later than Vivi's, I think. Unless Vivi is now thinking of, okay, I will build scouts to counter ONT, is doing exactly that. So that's interesting.
Now
He will send
defensive tower as well.
Oh, I think that's a bit of an overkill. The tower and the scouts. Let's see.
I wonder if Stark's actually going to do some damage over here. Obviously, they're only skirmishes, so not really great at harassing. I feel like Stark might have been better off just keeping him in the defense, but he already has some additional skims at base to really defend over here, so I guess he should be fine trying to deal as much damage as he can, but I don't think it's going to be a lot of damage. And he needs to watch out for Vivi scouts actually. That is going to delay Vivi's castle age by quite a bit as well if he's going to invest too much into the scouts.
I don't like the scout edition. Or at least not the scouts plus a defense tower. Because now you can see Stark is running anyways, and now he built two scouts, and yeah, this will just mean he is like 1 or 2 villagers later into the direction of castle age, which I actually thought would have been, yeah, the big benefit of his strategy choice here.
Stark needs to be a bit up, but still open on the right side. We need to mine that side. He really needs to place one more tower one. That's what he's doing right now, so he should be fine. Losing one villager. And a lot of flaming really going on by Stark with all the stones.
Yeah, that's just his mission as it seems. Let's take a look stone-wise. Oh, the second stone is pretty nice for Vivi as well, so that's not a problem for him. So maybe could click up now with if he would have not built the scouts, but he did, so now he needs to delay the town center a bit or the villager production a bit, and then he will click up any second now. Let's take a quick look at Stark's resources. Pretty reasonable as well. Will be clicking up any second, and both players seem to be pretty well defended without the greatest, let's say, strong scary forces, so I think we will be in for a longer game again.
Yeah, indeed, wouldn't be surprised to see it. And now we see the Mongol player not using a lot of stones, so maybe Stark will have a better shot than Vivi had last game, and maybe is able to get more castles up later on. But obviously that's something we're more going to see in the early Imperial rather than right now where the players are just about to hit castle. So what do you think we are actually going to see in the castle age of both players? I mean, of the Britons, most likely it's going to be exposed. But how do you think Stark is going to respond?
I think Stark will just go for boom skirms. I think he will do 2 or 3 extra TCs and will just defend with elite skirmishers.
Yeah, he's probably better off. I don't think the Mongol castle age will be as strong as the Britain's castle age, so I guess that is his best option right now.
Yeah, so I would
really be surprised to see such a
love to actually see him not getting any gold now, because he only needs 260 gold anyways for Botkin and for the skirmishers, and he already had 310. So it seems like either he's not playing optimal or he has something else in store that we did not expect from him.
He has no bloodlines researched or anything, so I doubt he will be going for knights. Padded archer armor coming in.
Vivi now reach Castle 8. Stark soon to follow. 97%. Use skirmish upgrade. Remember, takes a bit longer than the botcan arrow upgrade. Not the botcan arrow, I mean the expo upgrade. So maybe, just maybe, oh, this could be a better fight for Vivi. Maybe dwindling the skirmisher numbers, but he thinks better of it and is now going back to aggression.
Yeah, he really wants to be the aggressor here because, as you mentioned, Stark probably wants to boom up a bit more, go a bit more for the late game, and hope he's stronger over there. And that's why Vivi doesn't really want to waste a lot of time against those skirmishes, which are most likely not going to do a lot of damage, especially with Vivi having the siege workshop at his base.
Oh god, and Stark is going for Sumbring. That's so bad. Okay.
Vivi now getting a Knight Hide. I'm not sure whether it's just to deal with the skirmishes coming up or whether he wants to add more. Now a TC seems to be denied by the skirmishes for now, but the Knights will probably deal with it very soon. So Vivi is on 2 TCs, is thinking about planting a third one. Stark is for now on 2 TCs, and I do not really see any plans for a third one so far.
Yeah, third GC from Stark should be coming in pretty soon, maybe over here or over here. Vivi already, as you said, planning to build a third town center over here, but being denied. And skirmishes of Stark doing quite some damage.
But the Knight should be here to clean it up. Obviously, every bit of damage counts. Shouldn't be too huge in the long run. Now Vivi seems to be going in. I'm a bit surprised that Vivi isn't moving more around the right, but there's only this palisade where he has to deal with, and maybe from there on he will be able to do a bit more.
Vivi now could take a good fight. He could be in. Is killing all the skirmishes. Should take a good fight against the Knights as well, if the Knights decide to come here. And now something happens that we did not expect at all. That actually Vivi could put on some pressure on Stark here.
That's a bit surprising. Still, Vivi's doing quite a bit of damage, but he has no siege workshop or anything forward. So
and only 4 villagers in the town center.
Some Knights of Stark are actually going forward. I'm not sure if it's just to take out the ram, maybe deal a bit of damage.
We had stuff 3 Knights against 3 Knights without upgrades each player, and the Expo still doing quite some damage, denying a lot of gold mining time, killing villagers, killing skirms, and suddenly Vivi is ahead by 10 villagers here.
Indeed, Vivi's doing a great job. A bit of a pity that Stark actually let him in quite easy without taking too much damage. And really a bit failing to defend. I'm not sure whether I like Stark going forward with the skirmish he had earlier, because maybe he did do some damage with it, but I feel like if he just played a bit safer, got his army at base and boomed a bit more, he would have been in a bit of a better position.
Yeah, I think so as well. He killed some villagers, but instantly being killed by the Knights of Vivi. So yeah, as you said, the defense could have been so much stronger, and the hold over here could have taken better fights, could put on more pressure, even defending here on the walls. And yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Struggling a little bit to actually get the Knights out. The skins will do damage as they are upgraded, but obviously still not the strongest. Knights have no upgrades, however, and I don't think we'll be seeing a lot more Knights of either player anyway. And the Camel actually coming out for Stark to deal with it. Stark also in 3 town centers, so finally bit up to boom, but still 13 villages behind at this stage.
Okay, even doing a camel now as defense, I'm not really sure what to think about that. Even having enough stone now to build a castle. Oh, I would have loved to do... Oh, he's trying to build a castle over here, but this might be tough because it's a very hilly area.
No, you should be able to drop a castle there anywhere. It can be built on any hilly terrain, the castle at least. So it would be nice if he would drop it there. But the other thing I would like to see is him maybe securing the gold he has forward on the left with the castle drop, but it might be a bit of a risky thing to do. And now even adding a second wall. I guess it doesn't cost too much, and if it helps him deal with the Knights, it's pretty nice. But now Vivi's adding a 4th town center.
Indeed, yeah, really increasing his boom, and he's ahead by 15 villagers, and well, wants to increase this count even more. So yeah, adding town centers will absolutely help out with that. Let's see, I'm not really sure what Star can really do now. He could get a TC up, but how is he ever able to deny Vivi from returning the favor from the game before, like early longbows, castles, and aggression?
Well, maybe Stark will have an easier time holding off if he can actually get multiple castles up himself to defend. And by the way, you got a small request to turn the friend and foe colors on, which might be nice for the long run of the game.
Okay.
But yeah, indeed, I think Stark maybe needs to sit down a bit more. He's actually getting bloodlines right now. Maybe we're going to see some more knights being added. What we saw also by Vivi last game, getting a bit of knights. Hope that could deal with the explodes a little bit. Maybe deal some damage with it. We didn't see it working for Vivi last game, but will Stark be able to make a difference? He's adding 2 stables right now, so I think we're going to see quite a bit of knights coming out.
Yeah, bloodlines being added as well. So we will see, even the 3rd stable. So he knows he can't win the game if both are rushing to Imperial Age. So he decides, okay, I will go for the skirm and knight aggression. Soon we will see the defense upgrade for the knights pretty surely. But so many villages are already on stone for Vivi. I think he will get up this castle tent, and all the raidings should be stopped. I think Vivi is looking in a great position here.
Yeah, indeed. It reminds me of the scenario we saw in last game, really, where the Briton player had quite a nice defendable base. Seems to have the early Imperial advantage once they get there. And simply did more damage. And Vivi still simply is quite a bit ahead. Feels like having a stronger econ. I think he's even further up to Imperial as well, even though he's spending quite a bit of food right now to actually get handcard on. So it will still take a while to actually get up to Imperial for both players. But I feel like Vivi certainly will be one of the players hitting it earlier, especially with Stark investing so much in knights right now. Which only have +1 for now, by the way.
Yeah, that's absolutely not enough. The expo counts are absolutely fine now, and now what we should see, okay, there are some knights left, and he was going offensive. Is this guy planning anything? And let's see where he's building his castle, and he's building it in like a very unimportant area, I have to say. More on the south.
I feel like if it maybe was a bit close to the gold, I would have liked it a bit more, but now
really
it doesn't seem too promising, and he really needs to watch out with the explosions. I found he had a manga now in the neighborhood, he does, but he still needs to be very careful fighting it, especially because half of his army is fighting now and just losing it for free. Luckily, Vivi didn't spot the castle, so the villages are safe for now. And now it seems like both players are just a bit of booming. Stark still adding more knights, but as I mentioned earlier, with Stark going and investing so much in knights, which isn't really friendly for your economy, Vivi just seems to be hitting him quite a bit earlier, and he's going to click any minute now.
Yeah, indeed, look at his resources. Oh, now taking care of his crossbowman, just clicked up. And yeah, where will Vivi build his 2nd castle? I would love to see it over here, exactly. Maybe even deleting this farm and then building this castle over here, because this is controlling so much area. I thought about a good positioning. I think this is like leaving the top a bit vulnerable, and this would have been left the south a bit more vulnerable. I think this is an okay compromise. I would have even loved to see 2 tiles further down.
Now, 2 siege workshops going up for Stark, and Stark is still pretty far away from Imperial, but I guess he will be adding some rams or some mangonels to try and deal with the expos, but against the longbowmen he might still struggle, especially as Vivi still has some knights. I think they are just simply left over, not really newly produced. Now, the forward town center of Vivi is a bit cocky in my opinion. It's not really even covering or securing any gold, it's just a wood line over there. Not really sure what he was up to. It feels like a bit of a waste of stone at this point, but
He wanted just to expand a bit more, control more hills and see, but yeah, after I saw those villages going over here, I was surprised about it as well. And now Stark is leading in points. Let's see, maybe Stark can take a good fight. Now he has +2, is standing in the middle of all the expos. Maybe a good fight, but I think he didn't stop control there, or maybe he just had the wrong attack move or formation in
he's
there.
attacking the front archers, and this is actually quite a good fight for Vivi so far. But it might change a little bit as the Knights are now doing quite a bit of damage. Castle going up for Vivi in the back. And first the Longbowmen are coming out for now. The Knights finally have +2, so that explains why they're doing so well right now.
Yeah, indeed.
I bet this castle will go up anyway, and the Expos will... Well, they probably won't win this fight, but the castle will make sure the damage of Stark will be limited.
Oh, and now Stark thinks, okay, what am I doing here? Now I lost all my expos here, I didn't kill all the expos, I lost all my knights. This guy is having even longbows, has at least 2 castles up. I'm not sure if he sees the 3rd castle, most likely not. And this guy is even sending villagers offensive to build more castles. Oh man, Stark needs to think about something quickly now. Going for rams and knights, that's what he's going for.
It's a bit dubious really, because you would say it was a good fight for Stark, because every Expo he kills now is an Arbala's less later, so that's why you want to take the fight at that point, but it simply didn't feel like a good fight overall. His knights weren't fighting at all times, so it's a bit of a struggle there, and it feels like he lost a lot of knights, not really attacking.
Yeah, but now he's killing a lot of villagers.
With what he has, but he's still very, very far away from Imperial. Oh wait, he's actually can click up to Imperial right now. I'm not sure whether he bought something or whether I just... Oh, never mind. He's on a lot of farms, so that explains it.
Oh god, this is looking good for Stark suddenly. He killed so many villagers over here, killed a lot the castle over here, killed some in the eco, is now up to Imperial Age. The only thing that's going bad for him is the stone count, because now the stone in the back is run dry, and the one in the front obviously being denied. So he again, as a Mongols, will not get into... Oh, but he found another sweet gold spot, so that's good for him.
He also has a new, an additional stone pile on the right.
Indeed, yeah.
So maybe he'll be able to get some castles, but obviously he's going to be a bit late, and Vivi pushing already. And now is the question, this is what we saw last game. We saw the Britons pushing early Imperial Age, the Mongols struggling to defend. And now I'm just wondering if Stark is actually able to fend this off as the Mongols, where Vivi failed to do it last game.
Well, let's see, he has a lot of knights left still, but they will absolutely not do anything against longbows and expos on the hill, even a monk, a castle there. And yeah, he will kill a monk, kill something, but the rest will just get into the town, into the castle, and will be absolutely fine here. So, just trying to do something, but not really to the greatest effect. And lost a lot of villagers over here. I think Vivi now finally how can I not decide who's in favor of this game all the time? Because so many switching moves. What a great game.
Yeah, indeed. But this is what I mentioned. Like, last game we saw this British push going forward, and this game it seems to be the same thing. And now Stark is really struggling to get it together, and it was really just looking like last game, where the Mongols has no military at this point, is going to rely on skirmishes to start the game, and now just needs to make sure his castles will be alive to get those elite Mangudai out once he's actually in the Imperial Age.
Yeah, indeed, and he wants to go for a skirmisher defense. Look at his gold. He had 3k gold if he when he wants to go for a defense with skirmishers. Now he surely will click Orange upgrade, but no, he's clicking Capture Ram upgrade. That's a bit of a surprise for me. Even Vivi punishing Stark even further, getting the gold spot. Vivi had 10 population, and again the stronger army. But Stark is trying to expand, is trying to get map control, is trying to get raids in. Where are his knights? Did they go down? Most likely that. So let's just focus on the main armies here. Now the 3rd castle is coming. Maybe, oh, his knights are here, and oh, they could actually snipe the trap quite beautifully. Stark has the resources to tag to either onagers or elite Mangudais. Vivi now researching elite longbowmen. Stark is going for light cav. and siege rams. So we will see a lot of rams and hussars. That's interesting. He has a nice amount of farms, but if you go for this strategy, I would even love to see more farms.
It's nice how Stark really managed to snipe up the trebuchet earlier, but he still has a bit of problem in his base over here where the longbows are doing a lot of damage. I don't think the ram is able to take out the trebuchet in time, or will it actually?
Ah, second hit was so close.
It almost felt like the second hit didn't do any damage, but
yeah, it's a bit delayed, like the animation is a bit earlier than the actual damage output.
But for now, I just can't do anything but think back of last game, and it just so much things just look the same.
The difference
Let's
is
see how Stark is actually going to respond. Still more skirmishes. He did research light cav and hussar right now, but I'm not seeing a lot of hussars actually getting out right now. His food eco is pretty strong, a bit low on the wood, as obviously his villagers got harassed over there. And if we look at the village account, Stark is actually got ahead, which surprises me a little bit.
yeah, and that's the main difference to the other game. He has a good eco, and he has some army left. He has more tax already, and he still has 3 castles to possibly later go into Mango Dice. So he has more options for now. Stark, that is.
Yeah, indeed, but I still feel like the main problem right now, if Stark can stabilize this game, it will be by getting those longbowmen out of his base. If he does that, I think he's actually in quite a good spot from there out. He can be actually... He survived the early Britain's push. He might even be taking down the castle on the right side of his base with the siege rams.
Oh, I didn't even see that. Indeed, on the left hand side he's attacking castle. On the right hand side, those 2 sneaky rams without any HP upgrades on the castle. Oh, there's so much damage and a lot of villagers going down. Actually, Stark is winning at every side of the game.
So Stark is actually doing a really good job, even though the longbowman did some damage. It just didn't enough for Vivi to actually strike and just get the nail in the coffin or anything like it. But now it seems like Stark is on the counter-attack, and as I mentioned earlier, I think as soon as he manages to actually go even in the middle, now he's doing the nice push on the sides. I mean, maybe it's only a few rams, but every bit of damage really counts.
And he's building light cav to counter those rams, but only +0, +1, so they aren't even performing too well against those small skirmisher numbers. By the way, Stark's still missing the last attack upgrade and chemistry as well, but the third castle now basically being attacked within, yeah, just a short period of time. Where did Stark's gold go? Because he had 3k, did only build some rams and a trap, and is now down to 500.
Let me think. He obviously did a light cav and hussar upgrade, which has quite a bit of gold.
Maybe some
He
more
did a drill
traps.
tag as well.
Oh, the drill tag. Okay. That's sweet as well. Yeah, indeed. Yeah, I think
I
if...
cannot really find anything else which costs a lot of gold.
Yeah, maybe 10 rams, 5 traps, and some tags. Yeah, just can easily cost you 2.5k gold. So, yeah, absolutely makes sense. And let's see some mango dice as well. And now finally he's going back to his second or third gold spot, whatever you want to call it. And the castle is in huge danger. No stone to continue repairing the trap. 8 HP, and it's going down.
Yeah, Messi could finish this job, guys.
Yeah, so now it's pop 190 for Stark, so basically maxed out with nice low resources, getting everything on the map against the 165 out of 185 from Stark, who still holds on to 2 castles, now trying to build a market. No relics for him for now. And yeah, I think I have to give the favor to Stark here.
One thing which is mentioned worthy, however, Stark has the 4 piles of gold left in his base, which is like his third or second gold, whatever you wanted to call it. He, however, still has his 4 piles and has twice the additional 2 piles, which is randomly generated on the map at the start, obviously. But it seems like he will have an easy time securing this, as long as Stark obviously isn't going to harass. But Stark might actually go there right now, as he's sending hussars on the right side. He might be able to find it.
Oh, yeah,
now it seems like Stark will have to rely on mainly skirmishes and hussars as well, and spend most of his gold on siege to actually make sure he continues to push. So I wonder if the gold is really going to be a bottleneck for Stark, because at first he had plenty and that's why it really helped him to push forward, but from here on he might struggle a little bit to fight those elite longbowmen without having a lot of gold himself. So no Mangudai be available for Stark right now.
Yeah, but he is getting his second or third gold spot over here, so he is having plans to get into the army. But as he said, gold efficient wise, he's doing a great job. Skirms and hussars against the longbows, and raiding some on the other sides. Now even another offensive siege workshop, killing the monastery a second time. He's absolutely denying the gold income. Finally researching chemistry, so the skirmishers are doing one more damage over here. Yeah, and Vivi always having a lot of army here, but never like doing really critical damage.
Yeah, indeed. Every time he does get those longbowmen a bit more forward, and he picks off some villagers, but Stark being on so many TCs, it feels like he's not losing too much over here. Even though the hussars and the longbowmen are doing some good raiding, we still have Stark pushing on the sides, dealing some damage, and still holding off the main offense over here. Even though the wood might be a bit awkward for Stark in the long run, as we can see him running out of most of the wood in the base, his castles are still covering quite a bit of wood, however. I guess he will be fine for now, but it might get interesting in the long run.
Let's take a look at the wood. Nice raidings in the back. Now even start getting the gold on the right hand side. Maybe I would love to see some sneaks on the relics over here, but he didn't even take the relics in his own base, so that's something he will not take care about pretty soon, I assume. And this castle, hoardings being researched to increase the HP and maybe give him the opportunity to get a better hold over here, but not really anything which could kill the trap, although a ram now coming in, and as we already knew, only 2 hits and the trap will go down against the ram, and now he realizes, okay, this will not be my day, and is going back with all his longbows, and even sacrificing some more villagers. All these longbows, but still the longbows doing great damage over here.
Yeah, indeed, but on the other hand, not picking off too many villagers, and Stark still has the villager lead, even though his economy isn't in the best shape right now.
Oh yeah,
maybe the damage
especially in the
is bigger
south
than you might think overall, because Stark doesn't have a lot of resources banked up, but he's still going strong on the right hand side, really taking out a lot of Vivi's eco over there. Vivi simply doesn't really have a way to deal with all the rams. He has those villages around, he has his own rams, but they are just simple battering rams rather than the strong siege rams the Mongols has, and the drill obviously helps quite a bit as well. Now also pushing on the left side, and that means that Vivi might be losing the gold over there.
Oh yeah,
a lot
just
of raiding really for both players, doing a lot of eco damage.
oh, peaceful mining of stone in the middle of the map. Yeah, but absolutely. So much map control for Stark, now being ahead by 40 population, attacking again, cast on the left hand side, trying to control the area over here, but this is so tough for him. But he went down quite heavily on will count as well, because Vivi is doing a great job of trying to raid and return the favor now in the eco of Stark.
The right corner, the push is still going strong. Stark.
Oh, and GG Vivi!
Again, a lot of villages, and that means Vivi is actually going to surrender. He is too low to actually continue the fight, and unable to stop the push, and that means this set of matches going to Stark rather.
Indeed, Stark, after his first loss, now securing a win for himself, and Vivi going down 0-2 in this, so this will be absolutely tough for him to still advance in yeah, in this group and get into the knockout stage. So